Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the club is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Geisy. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that he hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truan. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess.
All right, hello, my friends. And I've been meaning for days to do the wrap-up or makeup graduation show for the week of Christmas. I was gone, and then Coach just been on doing his thing, so I haven't been able to get to it. But today, we're going to do it here. Something I just noticed is I'm following 1,329 people. In general, people who have graduated are people who I click on. So that's been a cool thing. Oh, right. Let's go newsfeed. Let's go over here. And not next week, but this week. So it's been a while. These people probably thought I forgot about them. Almost did. I almost did. The good news is when I mark one of their games or something, it'll say, Cry reviewed one of your games. All right. This Taufik, I don't know anything about. Let's see what's going on with Taufik. Just joined the dojo. Had some good success. Probably doesn't have any games yet. He's from Singapore. We have a couple people from Singapore, so that's cool. And, well, he's got a game. This happened very recently. Nope, no, so that's not an analyzed game. Maybe he just put it there as a placeholder, sometimes people say. So, Matt, I'll kind of click on this just so you know I was here. And what we want, of course, is we want you to analyze the game. That's my reason to be going over it. Not so much, well, to look at your chess, of course, but also to get a sense of how you see your games and the work you've done. All right, this is Dominic Adams Chess. Let's give him a follow. And I think I actually saw him a second time. Like, this is his first graduation, and then I covered that graduation. So I've actually looked at Dominic here, and he hasn't done anything. So welcome to the dojo, Dominic. Very common at the lower cohorts, people who have just joined, you know, they can graduate quicker than the higher cohorts. And not uncommon for them not to have either that much work done or games to be reviewed. Now you can see VR here has graduated 3 times. So that's cool, up to 631. Does he got some clubs? Oh, loads, dude. He's over there down under. And he's a dad of 2. It's difficult, but possible. Let's see if he's got some games here. Round robin. Let's look over here. 300, 400. So this is too long ago for me to look at. And I think I might have looked at it anyway. So that's well done. And we'll continue with Chubb, the Chubb guru. I think gurus are traditionally portrayed as being chubby. So maybe that's what it's about. Loads of good work here. Just joined at the beginning of December. Active basically every day. Doing well. All right. Let's see. I click on clubs, especially if no one tells me anything about themselves. Just maybe sometimes it'll tell me where they're from or something like that. So here's the Chubb. And he's been doing some games. Uh-oh. This one maybe he hasn't got to yet. Let's go back here. All right, so we'll take a look at this game. Common mistake when people import their online games is not to copy the timestamps. And when that happens, we don't get to see the times. All right, let's go. Let's just do it this way. So good move so far. This is already kind of an unpleasant situation, and this is too advanced. I don't know if I want to say it, but here when they play c6 and the knight can't come here, d4 is a good response. So already black's kind of giving you the business a little bit in the center. So d3, bishop g4. I don't know about that move. Good move. I like that. You're pressuring d5. This was not a great move. And now you said, okay, I'll win a pawn. Good. Notice with that move, really, they're just losing a tempo with bishop g5. And here you play queen b3, fine. You could have also played queen c3 there. And now you're taking him to town. This is more than just a clear advantage for white. You are definitely winning. So, queen a8, queen b4. That doesn't do anything. I definitely think you should take the rook. And now queen b7. Excellent move. Excellent move. Beautiful. And now you're totally safe. This move I don't like. But you're so far ahead, good move, that he can't do much. Oh, genius chess. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He played this game very, very well. Yeah. Uh-oh, even that was good. So, that was a very good game. Yeah, that was amazing. So, Chub Guru, I think you have been, at least that one game was very good. And you're doing the work. You just joined. Let's look at your rating here for a second. Rating, of course, going up like a maniac. I thought that was a very high-level game for an under 1,000 game. All right, well done. So we'll continue. Betrelome, is that how we're going to say it? Now, this is a father who joined with his dad, or excuse me, a father who joined with his son. Gone up a little bit. He's at 800, and he's in the adult improver. Does he have some games? Betrelome, of course, we want you to log your business more and to put some games in. I think it'd be cool if your son came into the program too. That would be fun for both of you. All right. Next up, we got Osio, whose name I recognize. And he says, trust the dojo. And I recognize him because, look, he's already graduated at least 3 times. And you can see by the ups and downs that he's playing quite a bit. He's gone up 520 points from Denmark. Started playing October 23. And I remember this guy from back in the day. Yeah, he took a break in the summer because when you're in Denmark, it's so cold, you might as well enjoy the few couple months you got over there of sun. Just a very nice, steady climb here. Okay. Is there a Danish dojo? There is. We got 16 people. That's cool. Do we got some games? We do. And here we go. So, Osio is doing great. Do we got a time graph? Okay. So, one of the things we just want to note here. It's a speech I give every single time. Every single graduation show. To reach 1,000, there are 3 things you need to do. You need to not hang stuff. That's the hardest thing to learn. Then you need to learn to take your time. If you don't take your time, it's just like unused thought in your game. Most players you play at this level will be moving too fast themselves. And it's a skill to learn. Then, number 3, bring out your pieces. Right? We're going to see your opponent here in this game. I can see by his 3rd move, he already doesn't understand that principle. Okay, so here we go. Totally bizarre. You're doing great. Good move. Bizarre. And now you play bishop g3. I like I love your variation here because you, of course, should consider knight takes g5. Yeah. And then he says, I saw this position in my mind, but then wasn't certain. And I agree with you. I'm not certain either. Like e6, and then what do you got, right? So nice simple move, h5, h4, fine. I don't like bishop g4. I love your move, very simple and strong. I don't understand that. In general, black should not be letting the position open when he is down in time. All right. Notice this guy's just hanging. He's just hanging out there. So this is the first move I really don't like, c3. It's played too quickly. It feels like a move that maybe you saw a London video or something and you were like, well, that's what they do. Both hg and bishop h5 look amazing, right? So c3, e4. Why aren't we taking this pawn, bud? I should have won bishop h5 here. Very good. Now he does it. So you lost some time. Thank you, Sweet Blues, for subscribing. This is interesting to let him take. Unnecessary, but interesting. Okay. Black should consider queen d6. Okay. I don't understand queen g8. They should still consider queen d6. And now we're kind of blowing it over here. We've blown it officially. We should definitely be taking back with the rook so that we have a threat on the f6 pawn. Now we're toast. And we're completely gone. So, one of the things, a couple things to stress. When your opponents lose time, you're generally going to be able to think of a way to punish them, right? And so you miss the h5 thing for muchos times. And then here, it's just not a sense of like, oh, I have to bring my guys out. And well, like even if you weren't going to take on h5, I would want you to open the position. You could take this one. You could actively play your knight somewhere. There's no rush with the c3 pawn. Okay. And then later, though, oh, bud. Oh, bud. You just let him rip you apart. And that's where the games at this level are generally decided, meaning that someone will lose all their coconuts, right? They'll lose all their coconuts and then the game ends. And that's how the game's actually decided. That's why that's the most important skill. All right, let's mark this as reviewed. So we got Alex Lohman. He joined here. He's a secondary math teacher by day, toddler dad, and chess nerd by night. Okay, that's really good. Let's give him a follow over here. 829. And looking good. Chess nerd by night. I like it a lot. He's in SoCal. Beautiful thing. And boom. He did this on the last day of the year. Let's look at the clock. Oh, very well done. Always very encouraging for me to see when people at this level use their time. Even if you end up losing on time, it's a win because that is a big skill if you can just prove that you can use your time. All right, so here we go. Boom. I think that's got to be a good move. Boom. That's got to be a good move. And now bishop c5. And you talk about knight c5. I think knight c5 would be a good move. I still love your position here, though. Maybe I would have... Yeah, I still love your position. This seems a little safer with bishop e7. And then safer here for sure would be just to take the thing. Okay, now bishop e3 is played. The question I would have for white here is, couldn't he play snip, snop, and drop? That looks dangerous to me. That's the kind of thing that will ruin your day. He could still do it to you. Uh-oh. So basically you saw it now. And wait a second, Cry. Let me just go back. I might have misspoke. It's been a long day for me too. The snip, snop, and drop is not that clear because of this thing going on. So I have to do a take back. I get to sometimes make take backs too. So this is actually fine, excuse me. And then here we just needed to take. And you're doing completely fine. Yeah, beautiful. Good analysis. And I don't know if you need to play knight d4, but you're in control of this position. Okay, so blunder. Blunder. So you should say what he should have done, which is move the bishop anywhere, because now if he takes, this guy's rolling here. Good move. And now queen e1, you noticed. Very nice move. Uh-huh. Now, I don't know why we're giving up this pawn. It seems like we should just back it up. Good. Okay. And now rook takes f3. Wow, look at that move. That's a hell of a move. And you say white's a little bit better. Well, I don't know. You're up a pawn, aren't you? Good. Uh-huh. Good move. And now you play g4, which I believe in. Good move. And you now play knight takes b4. gf3 looks good to me. But okay, knight b4. Just take the pawn. Just take the pawn, bro. I don't get it. I don't get it. Just GF. In any case, I don't understand G6 too well, but you are winning this game. Good move. Good move. Good. White loses on time. Whew. So there was some so again, to make 1,000, the most important thing is to not hang your coconuts, right? And here we saw some coconuts being hung. That is the most significant obstacle for you to fix to making 1,000. Yeah. Okay, so I like this guy. This guy's one of my favorites, Alex Lohman here. All right. Next up, we got the Knighted Octopus. And he's been busy, as you can see. He took a little bit of break in November. When you look at my heat map, I took a break in over the Christmas holidays. It's just completely soft. I went soft. Notice he hit 900 and then fell back down. He hit it for Christmas, and then, Christmas holidays hit, and he bit it. But this is he submitted it when he was over 900, so that's fair. All right, does he got some clubs? Loads of clubs. Aus Deutschland, the Knighted Octopus. All right, so let's see if we got some games. We do. This is against Smith Rob. First, we'll see some times. Oh, and there you see it, my friends. There you see it. This is a 30 plus 30, and black is not taking their time at all. We could do better ourselves, but obviously black is just not even thinking. Okay, so let's put that time graph. Let's keep it at the time graph on. And I'm going to go retain a more relaxing state with my beautiful coffee on this fine Sunday. And we'll take a look here. So, fine. C3. I have a course where I advocate for DC5 here on Chessable. And excuse me. The thing for white to appreciate, and this is a little bit more advanced than you need, the kind of thinking that will be for later. But the thing just in terms of opening principles to understand is that black has now achieved a good French. And If you don't get something good out of this, then you are going to suffer, you being white. This is a mild inaccuracy because he's going to give your knight this square to come to. All right, and now h3 is a blunder because now you're hanging your pawn. Right, so you got to play something like bishop e3. So boom, boom, boom. Now you're in trouble. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, black didn't need to take on f3. Queen g4, good move. Bishop h6, very good. And you notice this all happened because black took on f3. That bishop wasn't harming anybody. Ooh, that's a bad move. That's a bad move. Yeah. All right. It's frisky. I don't know. I don't know. Where are you going? Where are you going with that? Maybe rook a1 intending knight e4 or something. You could also think about queen g3. Yeah, I like rook a1. Queen b6 made sense for him. Now rook c8 commits the king to staying in the center. Whereas if he had moved his queen, he could think about castling long. Okay. Now, the computer shows him how to play rook takes d5. That's a hell of a drug, dude. Yeah. And notice it's all based on the fact that this queen is hitting this rook, that the king can't come here. So beautiful variation. And queen a5, no possible because of this guy. So this is the variation, and you got to take. And then look at that. Bang. That's some computer geometry. All right. Okay, maybe I have sympathy for this for black. Black could maybe play rook g6 next. That's a blunder. So now we're just losing. I don't know what's going on. So you have some takeaways. I would say that the most important thing is you hung a bunch of coconuts. That's it. All the other things, like what I said about the opening and stuff, that's secondary to you hanging your coconuts. All right? That is the most important thing. That is my takeaway. All right, we'll mark this as reviewed. And we'll continue. We have the famous Arsène Lupin. Thank you for creating the dojo. The whole system that allows us to see the tasks and visualize the tasks we trained is excellent. Greetings from Medellin. That's a little hot place of the world down in there. So he's got it going. And look at that. He started in October, but really started cranking up the training there in late November. So it's looking good for Arsène over here. And if I could have a request, it would be to create a club for Colombia. We also have somebody created an Asian club too. It's too big. We need to narrow that down here. All right, games. Let's see here. Good. And here he's playing Abadou. Look at the times. Reasonable. Definitely Arsène did better job than his opponent here with the time management. We'll mark this as review. Good. Good. Fine. Poor. This is going to be a standard mistake here where the d5, we'll talk about it, and you played it much too quickly, but just recognize that this kind of attack, this costs him a tempo, and he's leaving the center. So if he's going to do it, it better be amazing. It's not amazing after castles, right? It's not. Notice your opponent played it in 8 seconds. He's not thinking at all. d5, e takes d5. And here you talk about a collapse, but you You wouldn't play d5 unless you were going to play knight takes d5 here. So queen f3. Now we're in trouble. Bishop e6. I probably think too that knight f7 is going to win the game. Maybe even stronger than queen f3. Now this scares me because of queen h5 check. So maybe queen d7 looks reasonable. You're not toast. You can castle here next. And then you can do that stuff. Good. Knight d2. Please castle long. I did not like that what white just did. They fixed your pawns, and then they didn't play queen c7. They took here. That's not doing anything. So your position is now massive. Knight d4. Okay, good move. Good. Wait. Wait. Why couldn't you play bishop a f2? Yeah. Of course you want to take that pawn. Of course. Furthermore, I think there's an instant win here. So like rook h8, queen g4, snippos, hippos, and crippos. I don't know. That looks like a hell of a drug. Queen h3, snip, snap, and then we go in. Gonna mate him. Mate! All right. By the way, you don't have to see that to play that, because you can always just move, you know, he can't win the bishop on f2. Good. Okay, fancy. Queen d2. Your opponent goes passive. You say thank you very much. Then you go boom. And then you blunder. Queen e2. Oh no. Oh no. It's so sad too when the dojo loses a game like this. Queen e2, you actually thought for 42 seconds as well. In general, I guess we can say you were focused, hyper-focused on just some kind of plan with queen e2 instead of looking at your rook. Also, when you make a mistake, tell us what you think you should have done. Like queen d5 maybe, something like that. All right, beautiful stuff. Let's continue. Arsen's making progress. Next up, we got Sean. Broke into the 1000 club. Not an easy thing to do. Also joined fairly recently. He's not... What, was he there? I guess maybe he was there for half a second and then fell back down. So we'll still count it. Again, this is a makeup show for the week of Christmas where I wasn't there. Skebik says, boss, I joined the game profile review classes, but I don't see them on the calendar. Are the groups full? Well, Skebix, that's an important question. You know what I don't know, Skeptics, is I don't know what your actual name is. First question, if you feel comfortable telling me your name or just your initials, your initials in your cohort if you feel uncomfortable with it. And I can tell you if I see you that you're signed up. You know, that could be something for us to do on this fine Sunday. Let me just actually, Nestor. No, I don't see you, bud. And what cohort are you signed up for? Like what? Yeah, what cohort are you in? I guess I should ask. Oh no, you're there, buddy. You're there. Yeah, I see you. So let's go look at the calendar, and I can show you. So a couple things should be going on here. So, by the way, this is just a good time for me to give a pitch to everybody what's going on. Today, of course, is the 4th, so we're going to go forward. There are 3 game and profile review groups starting next week. I think it's going to be amazing. We're starting it next week, and so, for example, I'm doing the group that's basically it's a player range of 500 to 900, and I'm going to be doing that at 1 tomorrow. And then there's a different group, the Lasker group. So Nestor, you will be meeting on Tuesday with your peer group right here, right? And then here, you're going to be meeting with Kostya at a terrible hour. It's not that terrible, but it's 4 p.m. my time. He's on a different schedule, and he's leading you're currently in the top group. So that's when that will be. It's a little late. Why? Because he's playing in a tournament, and you could see they're covering these events. I think he'll be maybe, I don't know if he's starting his next event already by then, but anyway, he's traveling in Europe. That's why it's kind of at a later time over here. And we had one player who didn't like that time, and he actually stepped down into the lower group, which is between 1,000 and 1,400, which you could do that too if the time didn't work for you. And so, let's see, they are meeting here at 12 on Wednesdays, and that's Mr. Proust is doing that one. So, hopefully that'll help. And also, if anybody wants to join, first of all, the best deal we got, and we do this every year, is we say for the basic dojo, you can get a month for free. We want you to see what we've got here. It's a beautiful thing. And that's the best offer we have. But also for these other things, we have lecture classes and these peer and game and review, profile review classes. That's also a beautiful thing. You can learn more about those at our blog here. We've got this ChessDojo's launches live group classes. And I think we have a discount if you use the code NY25. NY25. Let's put it up there in the chat for anyone who wants to do that. Okay, cool. Let's go back over here again. This is a makeup for the week of Christmas where I was away. Holga says, I'm really happy to have graduated into the 1,1100. Over the past few days, I finally had a bit more time and played several Lichess classical games. Playing slowly is still a real challenge for me. Sometimes I feel like I've been calculating to forever, only to realize it's been, 20 or 30 seconds? Right. Notice he did a lot of work. And we'll just say something obvious, that as we go up the ladder, we'll see more and more work being done. Sometimes somebody like Gino, who knows why it's only 2, maybe they didn't actively log their stuff. But for the people who are logging their stuff, once you get up here, it's going to take you more work to get to that next level. It's more competitive. All right, here we go. So here's Holger, mid-50s, newcomer to chess, latecomer to chess, based in Germany. When I was living in Germany, there was a guy named Holger Grunt. I don't know, I looked him up recently. Maybe even the last time I covered your profile, Holger. I was like, Holger Grunt, I remember that guy. But he's not playing actively anymore. 1,009, that's beautiful. Look at this guy's rating, he's just going up. We got a German dojo, makes sense. Now we got some games. Oh, wait. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to hit games. And here's a recent game. All right. So, as we can see, Holger played too fast. Too fast. Basically, started crashing out kind of early, where he's just, he's got 30-second increment, and he's moving faster than that 30 seconds. So, we'll mark this as reviewed. We're going to keep to shame him, we'll keep this time thing up. So far, so good. Not a great play for black. Good. Simple and strong. Okay. Yeah, bishop d5 is a little weird. and you play it, you do think one of your longest things here. Now, I have some sympathy because you are winning a tempo on the queen. So I don't know if it's a bad move. You could have done other things. Good move. Good move, and now you're killing him. Rook e1, I like it a lot. And now a fancy move. Bang! Very nice play, Holger. Very nice play. Bang. Bang, and now you're winning. And I want to say I have sympathy with the fact that your time usage doesn't look good from here simply because you're so crushing this person that, you don't have to spend that much time to win this game. Beautiful. Well played. Well played. So one thing, I also say this almost every show, when you get to 1,000, you're not going to have people hanging stuff outright anymore. There might be, they might hang stuff by slightly more complicated tactics, but they're not going to hang stuff outright anymore. But what they will give you is free tempi. And so what do we mean? Prime example here, he does this, and then he does this. So he lost a full tempo on that operation, right? Okay, well done. So what am I saying? To make it the next couple hundred points, becoming ultra sensitive to the tempi that your opponents are giving you for free and how to take advantage of that is the next stage of the process. Okay, I did a course called Mastering Time in Chess that trains people on precisely that. Aron 8 says, reached 1500 USCF mostly through playing online, tactics and calculation, looking to catching up in my middle game studying and to begin proper written analysis of my games in the next cohort. All right, that's a beautiful thing. So as you can see, Aron here is not logging their business. They started maybe a little bit in May, and then he's got nothing. So I encourage you to keep track of it. But you are making amazing progress, and honestly, you're ready to graduate again. So tell us who you are in the clubs. And we have one game, but that's from forever ago. So I'm hoping you stick to it. Very important, just write down what you did here in this heat map and submit some games. All right, next up we have Council. And Council says, it has only been a week or so since my last graduation, but I've already started to take on board the feedback provided last week, which was that I was spending far too much time trying and failing to learn deep lines of opening theory by rote rather than understanding the positions and just making sensible moves. Thank you. That's just a beautiful, important insight. It is going to take a little time to adjust, but I'm committed to starting afresh with openings by following the dojo method and some of the recommended repertoires on the site. You can see that I've spent more time on tactics in middle game this week, and I intend to spend a large part of the festive break from work studying hard. Would you please review my most recent game against Paul Bealby? It was a real privilege to play against him. He is something of a local legend who has been at the forefront of teaching chess to kids in the northeast of England area for decades. He is still playing competitively and teaching kids into his 90s. A true gentleman who heartily congratulated me at the end of the match by telling me that I had played the opening terribly, but had found a lovely combination at the end. Okay, this is great. And again, mild apologies for not getting to this graduation show a little earlier. I was doing my Christmas thing. Okay, ECF 1619, beautiful. Also beautiful that you're using this as your preferred rating. Really 1748, normalized to 1619. Clubs, he's got all these English clubs. Maybe a Northeast England club. That would be fun, or wherever town it is you've got. Let's see if I can find the Mr. Bealby. Oh my gosh, look at all these. So, all right. One of the things that's very important for everybody is there's a folder called My Games. And that's where all of your games should be. I don't even see where the My Games thing went. Did you kill it? Why did you rename it? What happened here? All right. So maybe Northumbria Chess League? I don't know where to look. I'm trying to find Mr. Bealby. No, let's see here. There he is. All right, we can do this. And it looks like Christian just did his time, which is okay. And you can see pretty good time graph. So 115 plus 10. As we progress up the ladder, we'll see more and more people taking longer time controls, which is good. And let's go game review here. Oh, I'm going to have to fix it, though, because I haven't done it yet. All right, so here we go. Ba-bam. And here we go. Good move so far. Good. E5, a little weird. So, your opponent, you should ask yourself why you were motivated to play E5, right? Because if you were afraid of E5, he could have done that last move too. So, that's a weird thing to me about it. As well as the fact that I think he can win your pawn here. Looks to me like he can win a pawn. All right, so poor move. I think queen c7's okay. And now he tries to bust you like this. Now, if he wanted to play d4, he should have done it last move. Of course, he could have also won your pawn. Oh my gosh. And that's just like a harikiri move over here. So yeah, this is a mistake, though he should still be much better. Okay. Good move. And you just said screw it there. Now, I think I would have played rook d8 and been like, I don't want to give you my exchange. Okay, so now white is significantly better, but plays a weird move here, rook ec1. No comprende. Okay, the most important thing, now maybe it's still fine to play this way, but the most important thing for him, I think, is to trade off the light square bishop. You encourage him to do so. Bishop f5, and you like this, but notice you were the one who put it there, and now this bishop is amazing. a4, good move. We have the tactical point that if b4, you have cb touching your queen. So now white's completely winning. Yeah, now c4 should still be okay. Rook b8. But right now a move I really don't like, bishop d1, where the it's totally passive. Now, if we don't like bishop d1, it's really important that we say what we should do. Now, the most natural square, for example, is bishop a2, and maybe we can still mess with him though, because now this rook is a little funny, but it looks pretty good for white here, bishop a2. And if queen b2, I'm assuming he's going to move the rook somewhere, but this guy's now hanging. So queen b2, exclam after bishop d1, good move. And rook ca1. We should show that on queen e3 there's bishop d4, and on queen f4 I believe you have bishop e5. But that variation doesn't quite end there. Like queen f4, yeah, you could just malign him on the dark squares. Yeah, so that's kind of a cool variation. And notice that whenever he goes to e3 and tries this, then you're going to mate him over here. That's impressive. Okay. So now he goes here. Queen d2. And now rook a6. And now he probably thought that you had to play bishop a1 here. You found this move, and that move. Very nice. Very impressive. Yeah. Oh, that was a great game. That was a great game. It's cool that you're playing against a 90-year-old. You know, I play in the senior leagues myself, and that looks like a senior move right there, h3. That looks like a senior move, dude. What are we doing? Yeah. Okay. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Good resourcefulness when the moment came. Right. He put Sweet Blue saying he put 6 folders in the My Games folder. Okay, so let me just say, behind the scenes, I'm the one who really pushed for the My Games folder. I think it's very important. I don't know how we got rid of the My Games folder. You know, it should still say, there should still be one that says My Games. All right, let's get back to it. And next up, we got Gino. Triple graduation. Dang. So he came back to the dojo, didn't log his stuff, but came back for a triple graduation. 1478, amazing. He's playing there in Germany. And yeah, he looks like he just took a massive break, came back, and triple graduation. Okay, clubs. He's over there in the German dojo. We got 142 people in the German dojo. So, My Games. Oh, we have a game right here. Oh, he's going to add annotations later, so we won't look at that one. And then this one's a little old. Oh, maybe I've even done this one before. Let's see. Yeah, I reviewed this in September. Okay. Well, let's just look for a second here. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful time usage. So, Gino, I'm kind of disappointed I don't get to review one of your games. But I'll just do this just so you know I was here. Send you a little note that I was here. Okay. But welcome back to the dojo, Gino. Luke Roy. And Luke, playing since he was 5, now he's 25, bringing it with the chess, is not dedicating himself to logging his work, though. There he is. Let's follow him. 1452, beautiful. Clubs. All right, beautiful. And do we have any games? Dojo Open Classical, the Turkey Bowl. Let's go over here. Now, also, I don't understand. Did he get rid of the My Games folder? Wait a sec. So let's just say I go here, and I hit games. Okay. I had to make a note for our development team because it's really weird. My Games folder gone. Sweet Blues is saying I'm in the My Games folder right now. I guess I am. But the thing that I'm confused about is I thought we had set it so that you can make as many folders as you want, but the My Games folder, you shouldn't be able to delete it. You know, there should still be one that says My Games. Right? Because I go home and now this one, yeah, I understand what you're saying, Sweet Blues. Maybe this one's okay. But no, here's the problem. Here's the problem. So, one, I want to know where to go when I come to do the graduation show. I don't know which of these I should look at. Two, and more importantly, all of the games a person annotates should be in one folder. Like you could put them in other folders, for whatever reasons, but they should also be in the My Games folder so that we can have a place to do diagnostics on your games. Now, I get it. We've been poor, the dojo, in developing our diagnostics, but that's something that we need to be doing. And it's coming soon. Coming soon. All right, Dojo Open Classical. Here is a game that was played. I'm going to give this a review, and very nice. As we go up the ladder, as we see, professional dojoers like this, we're going to see people really using their time. So, against a fellow dojo member. By the way, in this game and profile review thing, one of the cool things going on is a lot of times these players are very close to each other in these peer review groups, and then they play a sparring game like this against each other. And then when we review the game, they have their post-mortem, and then when we have the sensei game review, right, then there's so much more for both players to be thinking about in that meeting. By the way, when I go over these games, I briefly look at the graduation show. I briefly am able to look at like the training, briefly looking at a game. In the game and profile review, we're going deep, both with the game and the profile, and you have other people talking to you about it. So it's a beautiful thing that I recommend. All right. Fun stuff. Back when I was a kid, they called this sometimes the Gurganitsa, sometimes they called it the rat. I kind of like the rat. H5, I don't know if this is necessary, but here he goes. So you can see Black's claim is he's gripping these squares like a champ. Good move. Bishop E2 also seems fine. Okay. And now he takes. Okay. Good move. And now what we can say has happened is Black has achieved their strategic objectives. White's still probably fine, but I would much rather be Black in this position now. Good move. Interesting. Well, Black is playing this kind of genius level. And EF5 is a very interesting move. GF5 was fully playable. But with EF5, I guess, Black is saying that they have time to do this kind of thing. C4, good move. And now Knight F8 is played. I'm thinking maybe Queen A6 for Black. Because now you can take it. You don't. Oh, A6, poor move. What do we do? You wanted to put your knight on E6, you put your knight on E6 on. Okay. Knight C3 comes to mind here for White. Okay. Black's playing this well. This is a kind of a high-level strategic game from Black. Even though I don't like ED5 that much, EF5, I think Black is playing with some nice ideas here. Queen D2. By the way, I don't know if I understood King H2. And Queen B5 is very frisky. I think you could take the queen and play A3. And then in 10, Knight C3. Ooh, I don't like F6. That's the first strategic move from Black. I'm like, oh, I don't like it. I think Bishop F8 is called for. Well, DE5 is either a genius move or a blunder. It looks really frightening because of this D4 move. I thought this transition was favorable to me since now the weakness on D5 is more exposed And now my poor knight will be able to go to d4 and remain there or be traded for black's best minor piece. Here black thinks forever and plays d4, and we'll say it's certainly the thematic move. It either works or it doesn't. Yeah. d5 might be a very nice move, honestly. If black has nothing else, they should probably play bishop f8. Good move. Now we got a snip. And then this. e5, very frisky. Rook d1 is a very simple and strong move. Very good. And now we blunder it this way. And now he gets you. Very nice. Very nice. Dang. So your opponent, dude, Constantine, I thought he played it. This was the first game of today's graduation show where we saw some interesting strategic play. Black had a conception of how to play the opening, laid out their pieces in a way that I thought was interesting, and I didn't like f6 at all. And I guess d4 was also a mistake. But I just want to say for Constantine, a lot of the moves felt grandmasterly to me, and usually at this level, that's precisely what we don't see. Like to have the understanding, for example, that in, say, this position, we've achieved really a very favorable French structure because we got rid of the light square bishop. G4 is never going to come to us. We're going to be able to play C5 at our leisure, right? All of that is going my way, our way. See, I identified you with you there, Constantine. All right, beautiful. Let's continue. And now we have Tristan Noel. Tristan isn't marking much in terms of their work. Made it to 1378. Trying to smash through a plateau. I would encourage you to, when you're doing your smashing, to log your work and do these games. Now, you did at least do this one game from 1128. Let me see if you got... See, this is what I mean by a My Games folder, where we don't have anything in there. So again, people, put these games into the My Games folder. All right, not enough here, Tristan. Let me just see. Oh, and these other ones are earlier. So, Tristan, I want to say you've probably got a lot of your identity wrapped up in chess. And I bring it up not only because I know that strong players like yourself have a lot of their identity into it, but that it's difficult for us to look at our games after we've done this much. And here you can see you're having psychological difficulty going deep into the analysis of your games, right? So even though I didn't technically go over this game here, I'm going to mark it so you know. It'll send you a little notification that I looked at it, all right? So here we go. We've already following Tristan. And now Francisco. Francisco's done a lot of work. Let's see what's going on with Francisco. Yeah, look at that. Ba-bam! The man has been here since August, and he is doing it. Up 94 points. It all looks beautiful. Let's give him a follow. And I just want to say, as a fan, this is the kind of graduation that is the most inspiring for me. Technically, we didn't make it. We're at 1583, right? But the man put in all this work, gained 94 points, right? So that is hard work, hard to do. Beautiful that he did it. Okay, so let's see what clubs he's got going on. Nothing. Francisco, tell us something about yourself. This one is from November. Again, my friends, put the games into the My Games folder. So, Open B tournament in Siena. Do we have clocks? kind of. Now, I know what happened here. This has happened to me too. The reason that is that you put in, how did this happen? You began at 130. Actually, I don't know why it happened. So you put it, you must have put it in like a move in or something instead of, it started the clock at, okay, when you put your game in, if it's an OTB game, you gotta write what the time control is and not just put the times in. Because here we're not going to be able to get like your time management rating or anything like that. All right, so, but here we go. This is Francisco. Good move so far. Fine. Little poor from rook e8. Castles. Knight d7. Bishop h2. And now a weird move, c5. Okay. The problem that black is encountering, this is typical when they play this rook e8 thing, he's maybe not threatening to play e5 because you could take twice. In that which case, we really shouldn't have played bishop h2. But now c5 is played, and now rook e8 doesn't make any sense. You play the ambitious move, c4. I think that's okay. d5. Fine. I like your knight c3 better. Good move by your opponent. Queen c2 is played. I also like knight bd2. Good move. ad1. Good. Good. And now knight f3. I like this move. Knight h4. Good move. Great move. Very nice. Very nice. It's just a very simple and beautiful opening up of the light squares in the black position. I think he's toast. So well done. Very nice strategic play. Boom. Game over. Now you took with the bishop here, or excuse me, with a knight, which is fine. Bishop f5 looks, I mean, they both look totally crushing. We just got to be honest. Okay. Good moves. Oh, beautiful play. And now you played rook d8. Might have been something more incisive, but, you know, we're not going to complain here. Oh, wonderful game, Francisco. Wonderful game. Yeah. Some of the things I like about that game is you were just playing principal chess, and your opponent kind of lost his mind a little bit, and you instantly took advantage of it. You know, he's playing some funky moves, right? And you're just going to play basic chess. To me, bishop d3 looks more natural. But the point is simply to say, you're playing good and solid chess, and then you took advantage of this h6, which was a very natural move. It's harder for black to play this position. And you could argue it's an example of a situation where the threat is greater than the execution, right? Because even if you played knight g5, it's not like it's the end for him or something, right? Okay. Well done. Let's see, did I mark this? I will mark it. We'll go back and make sure I'm following him. I am. Beautiful stuff. And we got one more, and that's Mr. Wazi over here. Wazi doesn't tell us much. He joined kind of recently, but this is already second graduation. At 1745, he hasn't actually graduated. So he's in Canada, Alberta. And do we got anything over here? Nothing. Do we got anything over here? Non-classical training games. What does that mean? Nothing.
What you doing?
I'm streaming, but.
What you doing? You're rating?
No, I'm almost done here, man. This is the famous Fire Snap. He's been doing jiu-jitsu instead of chess. Tell him about jiu-jitsu, Baus. I want to know about jiu-jitsu.
It was fine. It's like wrestling. Just I don't really know the difference. It's basically just
So what
chess.
kind of drills did they have you do?
Nothing. We just fought the entire time.
Oh yeah, so you just got to spar.
Mhm.
Did you have one guy you were sparring against mostly?
Mhm.
Was he real experienced?
Mm.
He had some skills.
Yeah.
Did he knock you out a little bit? Push you around?
Yeah.
A little bit push you around. Good. That's what you need, buddy. See. All right, my friends. I'm gonna wrap it up there. We're gonna go. Me and our Fire Snap. Are you going to the gym with me, bud?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Nice. We're gonna raid friend of the dojo Zefcat, and we'll be back Wednesday, if not before. Check out the dojo live classes. I think there's a variety of ways you can find it, but if you go material and then live classes, boom, you'll see it there. Oh no, that's not actually what I wanted, but that's also cool. We're recording all of these classes. What I meant to do is if I go to the blog, that's the best way. If you click on ChessDojo launches live classes, and this is an old code. You want to use code NY25 to get a discount. It's a beautiful thing. Check it out. And we're out of here. Rear naked chokes. Did somebody do that to you, bud?
No.
No.
Nobody.
I don't even know what that means.
I did.
All right, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye.